Greetings, church. Delighted to be with you today. The question that I would like to address in these next 25-30 minutes is a very simple one, but a profound one. What is the new face of God's kingdom, that is missions, advancing around the world? Now, just to give you a couple of pithy little thoughts to get us going, missions and ministry has shifted significantly from country to city, from rural to urban. Missions and ministry has also shifted from big church to small bubbles, and most recently, from gatherings to technological virtual meetings. This is very significant because in the year 2007, there was a very significant shift for humankind. Did you know that was the year that demographers calculated via counting the populations of countries around the globe that more people were now living in cities rather than in the country? The obvious implication then was that missions was no longer going to require 100% of the effort to be headed to rural areas around the world, but that a new focus would be the cities around the world. And of course, there are mega cities designed and called mega cities of over 10 million that are now well over 40. There's over 40 mega cities around the globe. And so missions, this is one of the most significant shifts that has happened in missions and the kingdom expansion these days. I want to talk to you this morning about the area that God has called both Debbie and I to be a part of, and that is the international church. Just before I define and describe what the international church is, let me say that in response to this demographic shift in the year 2007, there was an amazing compendium, a new textbook that was put together, 400 pages plus, by Dr. Joy Tira out of Lausanne. And Lausanne commissioned him to collect articles from missiologists from around the globe. And this was so significant because the shift or the change in how missions was going to happen was addressing the 1 billion people that are on the move within the population of 8 billion plus around the globe. We simply can't ignore or sideline that size, that great a number. Imagine, for example, that would be the third largest country in the world. China, India, and then this 1 billion people that are actually on the move, no longer living where they came from. Now, because of this compendium and how God called Debbie and I to work with the international church, it's so important for us to grasp the idea that these people are all on the move and to understand the connection between people on the move, those that are scattered, to be gathered inside the international church. So, what is the international church? I would define it this way. The international church is a collection of God's people from diverse nationalities, from different cultures, different colors, different classes, certainly a variety of church backgrounds that are gathered together to worship God, to learn about God, to fellowship around God, and then tell other people about God. That's about as succinct as I could say it, because the international church, defining it, describing it, is sometimes like trying to nail Jell-O to the wall. It is shifting and changing because it exists in virtually every country in the world, and you can imagine with the policies, with geopolitical changes, for example, in communism or in Islamic states or secular states, there is a great kind of influence that shifts and develops the personality of these churches at a global scale.